Right. Okay. Recording. We online. So I'm just.
Um,
I've been thinking about our introduction because I've been talked to maybe three person. I'm not sure. Should I address them as student or just
as
friend?
I remember E4, as I remember in your recording E4 students.
No, you are the number four. So first I talk with Tom and Tom. Second one is Nguyễn Thị Trà My. Oh no, actually you're right, four. But the four person is not student. It's the HR, the lady from HR. Oh, fuck, I forgot it. Ah, Nhung. Yeah, it's Nhung. So
Ah,
we
yes,
just
she's the
yeah, we just
member.
in yeah, Nhung actually helped me kind of give me some brief information on what to talk with new people when they join my system. So I'm just weird. I'm just
Yes,
weird. I'm
I
just
know,
a
I know.
student. I'm not saying I'm a teacher. I'm just can help you kind of help you improve your confidence in speaking English, and that's it. So I'm still learning myself.
I'm really happy to hear your accent. Very easy to listen.
Right. Okay. I'm not sure. It's kind of a mixed accent. So before I came to Australia, I have some somewhat American accent. And during the time I'm living here, I'm kind of mixing with Aussie accent, but not like Aussie. It's Aussie, hey, how you going, mate, or something like that. That's a heavy Aussie accent. I'm kind of mixed in between. I'm kind of a copycat with some guy. It sounds like I have the Saigon accent. I'm trying to copycat with like Hanoi accent. It's kind of more bass in it. It sounds nice, kind of like that. Right. So I've been thinking about every time I talk with a new person, I have to give a brief introduction about me, and you kind of do the same. So I'm thinking kind of really boring. So I'm just maybe I'll maybe changing that. So if you want to know, ask me a question. What do you want to know about me? And in return, I'm gonna ask a similar question. What I want to know about you. Would that better? How does
Mm,
that sound?
yes.
Rather than okay, I'm just repeat the same exactly what in my bio. It's just so fucking boring. I hate that. So tell me what you want me to know. Why you sign up for my system? I think knowing something like that is feel
Uh,
better.
the
It's
reason
more
the
interesting.
reason
Yep.
why the reason why I registered your lessons. The
Yep.
reason,
Yep.
uh, actually, I'm the member. I have a chance to take part in the team of A Better Vietnam, and so I know Nhung in your liaison,
Yep.
and in maybe 1 month ago, I in the HR team, the human resource team of A Better Vietnam, and but now I'm more rotate to the education affair team. so uh,
Sorry. Education. What? Education is.
in A Better Vietnam have two teams, like
Yep.
human resource team and education affair team.
Right. Education affair. Right.
Yes, yes. Uh,
So
as I remember when you applied, and uh, I still in the human resource team, and I answer your email. uh, uh, as I remember, like your email have some problem, or you not online like that, and send your personal email. But when interview you, I go to the education affair team, and like the member of human resource team like request me for join the interview with her, but like the time is limit and I cannot join, so cannot meet cannot meet you at that time. Uh, so because we as the team of Better Vietnam, we have a chance to lesson free with the all teacher, like
right.
the student. but the student should have 6 months. But we have a chance to study with a teacher, like when we work at a Better Vietnam. I think it's a chance for us, like a priority. No, it's like a uh, when we work, we have a chance to study. Like it's a uh, I think it's a I don't know how to say that.
Take
Okay.
your time. Take your time.
Okay. And I think the second one, the second purpose, like why the student, like the member have a chance to study with teachers, is like the founder want us to more connection with teachers, and through the lesson we can uh, update the teacher information or have them answer some question if they uh, some problem that teacher meet in the teaching process and cannot respond quickly by sending the email or something like that.
Right.
Yeah. So,
That's right.
so the reason I often register to meet the new teacher when they have a lesson in the schedule and have a conversation with them, know how they teach, and know the way teacher teaching at the Better Vietnam, because we don't give a format for teaching. I just wonder, I just curious, not for uh, any purpose, just my curiosity to uh, know some kind of teaching of teacher like
Yeah,
that.
why? So I actually asked the same question with Dan. So the reason why I'm asking, so you have kind of few professional teachers where they teach about grammar, vocab, and lots of pronunciation, and maybe writing practices or something like that. I'm here. I just have kind of somewhat native speaking and then critical thinking, and then so I just want to identify what kind of you need, what are your goal when you register with me. So let's say if I have that, I'm more focused on that one. Just for example, when I'm talking with Tom, he I'll kind of give some small statement and ask him to give his point of view about that point of view. So for example, what do you think about vegan or vegan diet or something like that, and then he gonna give me a brief explanation of his view about it, and then I'll talk, engage in my conversation, ask him more about it, and then create a debate with it. Whereas with Chami, so last time I'm kind of talk with Chami. Chami is like it's a similar kind of learning type with me, which is just listen and talk to the other person just to learn more about English. And the way that I'm speaking is like I have more knowledge at the moment. I talk with Chami. I talk last time we briefly touched about free speech. And then why? So let's say for in a conversation, if you have a good idea, and then the other person have a point of view that is not in the same point of your view. So in real world, you're not supposed to say, "Oh, okay, I'm a better debater. I have more fact. I'm better than you. My view is better than yours. You should be shut up." And then it's kind of don't want that person to express their view. But in fact, you should let that person express their view, because you never know in life. You never know when you are right or wrong. With science or physics, it's like a fact. But when you talk about people thinking, it's changing frequently. So the right of speech, free speech, is very important. So I'm not going to touch about political. but I'm talking about daily. So let's say maybe now when you was 18, 19, you're kind of, oh, okay, you have a different idea about love, you have different idea about family, but when you get into the age of 25, 30, 45, or 49, you change your view or something like that. So engage. So I talked to Jamie about it last time, and then I kind of lightly touched about gym and then nutrition. How do you change your diet to improve your skin and your mind, etc., etc. So I still have a lot of topics to talk with Jamie. So that my question. So why you sign up for my what are your the reason why you sign up for my lecture? What do you expect out of me? And then kind of like that. So my question to hit you a bit is not clear enough, so it's very hard for you to answer. So, oh, good. Yeah, but yeah, I appreciate. So in the
Yes.
beginning when I sign up for instead of say a better Vietnam, I'm just say ABVN just to make it short. I'm lazy, so I always want short term.
I understand.
Yeah. So when I first sign in for ABVN, I'm not sure about the website. I'm not sure if it's legit or it's just some scam. So that's why I'm using the general email. So that one of my general email, I block a lot of email from that at email address. So later on when I read more about it, so okay, I feel comfortable. I can okay, oh good, you can. I'm using my actual work email to communication with your team. So in that way, because I I have like 8 hour sit on my desktop. So whenever you reply to me, I know it right away. Rather than the other email is I rarely touching with that. So it's just for sign up for junk account like promotion and stuff like that. Right.
Yes.
Okay. So now I think I'll better re rephrase my question again. I'll ask my question again. So, what are your expectations? What are your goal when you want to sign up with me? To any is there any way? What are your current expectation of learning English with me?
Mm, actually, when I think when have a lesson, I think the main purpose is improve their English and their communication English, the influently in express their idea and
Yeah,
convey it for the opposite can understand.
yeah,
But I but because I think like English is just a tool and people have to like have a thinking first. When we have a thinking we can express it in the any language. I mean improve English like vocabulary and grammar uh, is not enough. Like mm, as I remember, one teacher said to me that we have to practice the like the thinking first, even in the thinking of in that language first, and then it's easy to improve it. So when I study at Red Vietnam, I really learn like to have a lesson that teacher create me more the uh, create me more the chance to express the idea and like and hear the sharing from the teacher like uh, in another culture and like the guess the idea that I can learn and uh, like I see that when I share some idea for the teacher, like the teacher will give me another viewpoint that I maybe I never see it before. Yes.
yeah. Go ahead. I'm just listen. I'm just kind of weird. So when people talk, I'm kind of practice the way that I listen to them intensely. So don't be shy of that. So if you, let's say if, because we all, I know you come here just to learn English. So if you're not fluent with that, doesn't matter. I'm still here. So I'm waiting for you to reorganize your mind and then have the word coming out, and then you can talk with me. That'd be fine. Don't be shy about that. Yeah, actually, that is very good. So the way that you learn, normally there, so from what I know, so there are two ways for we to learn. So first we practice. By practice, we like that we do homework or something like that, and then the other way is you tell what you just learn or explain what you just learned to the other person. So that is the other way for you to learn it. So when you learn something and you try to explain that concept to the other person, it forces your mind to understand the basic of that understanding and then explain to the other person. It makes you more learning in depth of that concept compared to you just like read it and then thinking about it and it's gone. So
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of I've listened to a lot of podcasts. So the way that have a lot. So if you read more enough, you can kind of recognize that a lot of author they saying that there's some review that he keep thinking about that, but like the thinking or the concept just clicked in his mind when he tried to explain that concept to the other person. It just naturally come to that person. Sometimes when you ask somebody a question and you ask in a way that you just explain to yourself. I'm not sure if it come to you yet, but it happens to me quite a lot. So I have a question, and before I come to the ask that person, I'm prepare all my document, and then okay, before I'm asking, I'm kind of lay out all the detail what I had here, and then after I organize everything, it's just the answer to come out on its own. After I gather all evidence and statement, and then before I ask that person, I already answered the question for myself. So it's very weird that our mind working that way. So
Like you will,
you,
before the meeting, you outline question, outline the question, the one you want to get the information from
yep.
the
So
person you want to
normally
talk to.
I have a kind of practice before I ask any question. I'm ask myself, okay, have I
Uh,
found enough information yet? Like it's not just I'm not sure if you get to that point yet because at the moment when I'm work, I have some kind of question. It is kind of hit me hard. I'm not normally asked this right away. I'm kind of thinking for myself, and then okay, before I'm asking, okay, maybe I'm find out where I'm stuck at, and I'll lay it out to the other person before I'm trying to explain to that person. I'm laying out what information I have at the moment and where I'm stuck in at, and I'm bringing to ask that person, okay, I have that detail, I have the detail, and I'm stuck in it here. Can you help me with this? Do you have any solution to help me with this? So, well, let's say not all the time, maybe 5 out of 10, I can answer myself before I actually go to explain to that person.
yeah.
I'm not sure. Is it clear enough? Am I make myself clear enough or no? I'm still confused here.
Like I rather understand like because I'm the person not uh um confident to express the idea, my idea enough. Like
Why?
I'm practice is currently like have tried to express more idea
Right.
when
Okay.
in the lesson or in just a daily conversation.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm practic I'm practicing this skill
Right.
because I think it's very important to work with other people.
Good. So that a good attitude. So well, one of the reason why I'm joining the ABVN is also that. So at the moment, I kind of very good with showing people how I do my work. But when it comes to explain, because my mind have a different way of thinking and different way of why I think. Just for example, like Excel. So I have about 10 or 16 year experience of Excel. I'm kind of when I wrote down the code, I know it right away. So let's say equal if this and that, or sum or lookup, VLOOKUP, or index or something like that. I know it's right away. But when I'm just show to other people, I don't know how to explain this function work. Just for example. So joining ABVN is also a way of, let's say, if I'm saying something to you and you say you don't understand, okay, I have to rephrase again. I'm trying to find a better way to explain for you to understand it. So it's
Yeah.
also practice in a way that I kind of calm myself down and increase my patience. So there is quite a lot of people. 2 seconds.
Mm.
So there are a lot of. I think back in my day when there a teacher, no, not teacher. When let's say your brother, you have a math problem, and you come to your brother and ask like, how, hey brother, could you please help me solve this question for me? And your brother, instead of explaining to you, just yeah, are you fucking stupid? Don't you see that? Is it? Is it make sense? No, still not. From the look on your face, I can still see that I don't make any sense to you. Right. Okay. Let's say make it more simple. Uh, right. Okay. Let's say I'm a part of joining ABVN. I've kind of practiced my patience. I'm not giving up that easy. I'm just look into your face and I can see that you don't get what I'm trying to say. And instead of like being angry, that okay,
Yes, yes.
you so
Now
stupid.
I'm trying to
Being
get.
yeah, being but instead of that,
Ah,
I'm just
ah.
yeah, right.
Yes. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, what was that? Well, why are you laughing? You just say what was that? Something come to your
I'm
mind?
like I understand a little bit when you said that when like we afraid to be like uh to be consideration from other people like
Mm,
accept
what?
the way I mean the idea you want to convey.
No, the first idea I'm trying to convey is so there are um, I pinpoint, I highlight the idea was of one of your teachers saying that Jesus Christ, I forget about it now. But anyway,
I listen that yeah.
right. So I'm trying to highlight that. So it's all right. Okay. Now to forget, but now just from my mind, it briefly that the one of the way for you to learn a concept is you try to practice it. Let's say we learn math. One of the way for you to get better in understand math is just solve the problem by using formula or learn about basic. And another way is to explain that concept to another person to understand it.
In the Peters, I get the one idea like you said when you try to convey, you look at my play and like you guess what I thinking.
Right. So when I'm looking to
Yeah.
your face, so normally when I'm explaining to you or Jamie, so when I try to explain the concept to them, when they understand it, their mind, their brain is like their eyes just kind of light up. It's like click, click, click. Oh, okay, I get it. But with a person that don't get the concept that I'm trying to explain, their face, it's just have it's like it's emotionless. It's like it have
Yes.
a fight of not clicking. You don't understand.
Yes.
I'm not sure if you get what I mean.
I understand, but like because it's my personality trait. Like when not understand, I'm not as as back. Like
Right.
will make the idea will past.
Try to do that. Try to do that with me.
Yeah.
So I'm signed up here. I don't take any payment. I'm just trying to help people. That's it. If you have any question, just ask away. All good?
The questions.
Hmm.
I see your. I read your bibliography and I see you go to Australia in to study high school.
No,
Is that
actually, I graduate high school. No, not graduate. I finished high school in Vietnam, and when I was 18, and then I finished year 12 in Vietnam. When I finished high school, I came to Australia to study. I'm not sure the course name, but it's called Foundation. But before that, I had to learn another 6 month compulsory English with another 6 months, and then I spent another 1 year to do foundation. Foundation is just kind of the class to prepare for you to go to uni. So I lose about a year and a half of my life just to do English foundation, and then start another 4 year at uni. Yep. So now
yes.
I graduate my bachelor back in 2017, and it was quite a while ago. Yeah. So now I'm working full
So
time. Yeah.
uh
No, now I'm just working
yeah
full
so
time in the
yeah
industry at the moment. So sorry. All good. Go ahead. Ask away.
I just wonder like uh why you stay at Australia like is have more good conditions like for you to stay back at Australia and working like you have a intent to come back Vietnam.
I'm actually have a full time position here, and I got permanent residency, a residency in Australia, and I don't think I want to go back to Vietnam. As long term, never say never, never say never. But because at the moment I work here, I'm kind of enjoy the environment and the atmosphere around here and the food. I know in Vietnam you have a lot of like very good food or something like that, but I'm kind of not used to the environment there. The environment here is just in here you have like cleaner environment. Atmosphere is more cleaner. Second, in here I have a lot of project going on at the moment, and in the future I'm gonna improve my work. And lastly, I find it peaceful living here. I'm an introvert person, so I don't like crowded place, and I found it very peaceful here. I can like with my job, I can move to new Melbourne or Sydney, would have like more population, but I don't like that. I like to work and live here. It's more peaceful. The other thing is the price, the living environment here is quite okay. Compared to if you go to Melbourne and Sydney, you have maybe the outfit, let's say the food may cost cheaper, but the housing price, the amount of money you pay for it is quite more expensive compared to here. So let's say if you earn about, just for example, 60,000 here, you can live quite comfortable compared to if you have about like maybe 80, maybe 90,000 income in Sydney or Melbourne. So you maybe struggle even with that amount of money, but in here with 60,000 you can live kind of good enough. But also, let's say, for example, in here, if you want to go to work, or you should like maybe work the same amount of hour compared to when you live in Vietnam. You can buy a house and pay it off. You can take care of your family, and you have kind of a safety net of the government. to take care for you. So let's say if something unfortunate happened to you, compared to when you live in Vietnam. So in Vietnam, it's more harsher. The condition is more harsher. So let's say you just a general population. If you're working at a mechanics or you're just fixing some, working as in a factory or something, you couldn't even afford to buy a house. I don't know for so many years. So let's
Yeah, yes,
say,
it's
yeah,
hard. It's
it's
hard.
quite, yeah, it's quite hard. So it's that one of the thing. But in here now, I'm live very comfortable in, yeah, a lot of, so there's two main thing is my family. I had my auntie here with me, my sister here with me, and I'm applying paperwork to bring my mom and dad over here as well. Still in the process, but yeah, getting there.
Oh, yeah, I really surprised when hear that because the mindset in my mind that Australia have a high standard and like people have to work hard to pay for the expenses. So
Who's
when you
told you that?
said that,
Who told you that?
yeah,
It's just that
so
that is true for person who don't manage their money. So learning to manage your budget and money is very important. So so a lot of people
yeah,
complain. Well, people who know how to manage their income and money don't complain, and they live quite well. And I'm coming from a very unfortunate. No, like I'm come from a very poor, not very poor. Like I'm come from a kind of not poor family, but above background a bit. So you know what I mean. But yeah,
like
yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
yes, I mean I'm just surprised when you compare with Vietnam and you said that in Vietnam like have to work hard pay pay for a living because normally I said people said that Vietnam is have a comfortable for living is comfortable for living.
Not really. So where do you work that you're comfortable with that?
Mhm. Just my observation, like I often hear
So you may
the
talking about your friend, but if you talking about a person who do Uber Eat, or maybe talk with person who work in a factory they earn about, or maybe who person who work in some manufacturer where they make clothes, so they have the basic income somewhere about, you may be talking about 4 million to 10 million a month. So in Da Nang it might be different, but in Saigon I have a different situation, um, where even I have an IT friend in Saigon. His income about like 20 million, 20, no 20, yeah 20 million Vietnam dong a month. He still struggle.
yeah
Yeah,
yes
but let's say I'm just talk about bare minimum in here. If you want to work, you can earn a lot of money. Like even you just doing you work in a restaurant or something like that, you still can buy a house even if you work in a restaurant. But in Vietnam, if you let's say if you work in a restaurant, can you afford a house? Well, I'll say no.
yeah
Yeah, I've been there.
um yes
So I'm
yeah
trying to
now I
talk
know.
about I'm talking about a basic, not a medium class or higher class.
Yes.
Yep.
But like can afford the house in the area that have in like in the city of like Vietnam, like Da Nang, or
I'm not
I mean,
sure about let's say I'm just talking about a general information or living condition. So my dad or some of my friends they're doing running Grab. They earn about let's say 10 million a month. So you can factor in the amount of money they have to pay for rent, the amount of money they have to pay for food, etc., etc. But I think the general income of not up to 20 million a month now, maybe 10 million, or maybe 12. And you can ask about the monthly rent payment and the daily expense of food. and then you by the end of the year, how much do you have left in your bank account? I'm saying here, if I'm working here, if I want to work something, I can save about maybe 50 to 60,000 Australian dollar at the end of the year if you know how to manage it. You may be working about 38 or maybe 40 hour a week. So you can compare those two and you know it already. Plus, when you work in here and you take Australian money to Vietnam, you going for holiday, well, you can buy more stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, is in Australia have a safety net. So let's say if you be an unemployed, they call Centrelink or something or like unemployment support. They give you about maybe 400 to $500 a fortnight. I'm not sure about a figure. I'm just guessing somewhere around that. So just say in Vietnam, if you can't work, where's that coming? Where's that money coming from?
I just wonder. I just wonder about the living of outside of Vietnam.
Hmm.
So that's the reason why I asked you about it.
Right. Okay. But anyway, yeah. So when I'm trying to compare, I'm compare the class that just earn
Yeah,
basic
yeah.
income, just basic income. I'm not talking about manager or engineering or IT technician or something like that. So they are different animal. I don't want to touch that.
That's what I find it.
Right.
That's what
Okay.
I want to find. Yes.
Hmm. Right. So any more
Um,
question? Yeah. All right.
I'm not
Right. So
prepared.
my turn. So I'll maybe change a bit. So instead of you asking questions, so now I'm gonna ask you questions. What are you doing at the moment? What are you studying?
Now I'm studying at Da Nang University of Economic, and
Yeah.
my major is international business.
International
And
business. So interesting. What is that about? Can you give me a brief explanation of what is that about?
uh, actually, now I'm the third year student, and I'm still very confused.
What do you mean? You Turkey and this is confused. What do you mean?
Yes, at the first and the second year, I learned a lot of things. Like the first year, I learned not related. Like it's the general subject, including a lot of things, and I just get some definition of like some concept about their economic, but it's like ambiguous. And in the second year, like we start to learn some general measure subject about like marketing, uh, business, uh, like
Even too hard to skip. I don't want to torture you with that. Just slightly touch it. It's
yes,
fine.
like it's very theoretical.
Yeah.
And in the third year, I really expect to have more course that I think more practical and easy to know more about because the international business is tend to related to the logistic field. So more of student I more of student after graduation can apply to the logistic company. Yes, so uh, and this major is also focused in that how to like work transport the good in among the country. So I really expect to learn more and know like the like more knowledge about the um know what I can do and what I can apply for my job in the future.
Yeah.
but it's also boring and just theoretical. Uh, so now I'm rather confused. Like I see another uh, department have a lot of interesting course like uh, the chief they do the project that rather relate to the reality. Yeah.
What kind of project you saying that interests you? Can you expand more on that?
Like my friend, she
Hmm.
she learned her majors about the commercial commercial business, and she have to like to build a shop in the Shopee and try to sell them, and or they she will or another course she tell me that she have to have the experience in one business model in the now and like try to like find a way to deal with have to find the problem and like deal with the problem of that model, something like that. But in my course or the course is like theoretical, uh, uh, is the theory of a long term about economic trade. Mm. And like about actually like we learn a lot about uh, the internet management, the back i- management, management internet international business, but like it's just a theory a long time ago, and you have to explain that and and remember it for the examination. Yeah. So now I don't know in the next semester and the fourth year, but I'm not in sure that.
I'm not so sure. I'm kind of in the same shoe with you when I was in uni. But so after I graduated uni, I learned another course in business administration. Well, another theory thing. But I remember when it changed my mind, when I listened to podcast and listened to a lot of podcast about business and self-help, and it's trained me to think in a way that kind of critical thinking. So I learned to change my learning objective from just remembering things and shift to understand why it's happening. So for example, when you learn about history, you should learn about okay, and this year this happened, that year has happened. If you learn exactly at in the model, if you list all the detail, you get a point. But I changed my concept of learning. I'm learning to understand why it happened and how to stop it from happening again. So there are basic concept you have to learn about your history and understand why it happened. Because if you don't learn how and why it happened, it's doomed to repeat itself. Am I making sense? No, I don't.
uh, uh,
But
can you say it maybe in my English because my English uh, enough
right.
get
So there is a concept that when you learn English, you're not learning about event. You're more learning about why it happened and how to prevent it. So if you learn history in a way that you just know about the event in that year, what happened, and then next year what happened, in amount of troop going to that area and win that battle, lose that battle, you're not going to learn anything. So the concept of learning history is you learn it why and how it happened, so you don't repeat it.
yeah, I
You kind of
understand
get it. You kind of get it.
but yes.
Yeah. So
Like,
it's similar in the case that when it applies to learning. So at the moment, I think you learn because you don't have some kind of real life experience, and then because the way that you're being learned is really different from my idea. Um, how should I say it? I remember after I graduated. Well, don't talk about my bachelor year. Bachelor year is just so uh, it's so bad. But like when I read not a lot of book, but a handful of book, and then I do the business administration. So when they ask the question, I'm kind of break down the question into a lot of things. So for example, I remember there was a question asking, okay, so this person working that company, and then later on that person quit at that company and log a file to the claim that the company where he used to work is racist and do a lot of things that unethical. Explain. So if I ask you the same question, what would you do?
um, about the quick the one job to another.
You know? So
Uh,
the company A have an employee.
yes,
So
yes,
the course that we learning about ethical in working environment, right?
yeah.
So the company A have an employee that quit the job and then log a law case again the company A that the company A have a racist. Sorry, some people just text me. Log a case against company A and then saying that company A have a racist policy that is not help him improve his uh, working career. So if I ask you that question, what do you recommend the company would do?
I will summarize like the company have one employee
Yeah,
quick the leave the company and then they come back.
sue. You know the sue. You know the word
Ah,
sue.
sure.
Sue company A is racist. Have a racist
Uh,
policy that prevent him from advance his career within the company. You still don't get
so,
it. Let me try that again. I get I'm gonna have another question. I don't have the very good case now, and I'm just looking at we only have 8 minutes left, so maybe we can talk more about this in the next session. Because otherwise, no, if I expand it, it's gonna take at least 20 minutes. So we can move to another subject that more uh, shorter time.
related to economy.
Uh, well, yeah, we can choose another topic, but I'm kind of feel your feeling. I was there, kind of feel lost.
Feel lost.
Yeah, when I learn about all the concept without you don't know how to apply that in the real world. So it's just I'm not sure
Yeah.
why I'm sitting here studying that for what.
So in your uni, you like you can learn
No,
a lot
no,
of knowledge to apply.
no. When I was in uni, I was like you.
Like me.
I feel miserable as well. I have fucking no idea what was I doing at uni. I'm not sure why I'm learning this shit. All about theory as well. So that was my point. So, but however, after I graduate and then I work for full time. I have more experience about real life. So now if I relearn it again, I'm gonna learn with a different perspective.
So, like me, you also embarrassed when study in uni. So, like after you graduate and you get the job, so what do you get from the uni to apply for the job? Like not, and I not mention about the knowledge, but the skill. What can get from the university to apply to the job?
Well, the first thing is if I'm just saying the me in the past and the me in the future. The me in the past learn in a different way, and the me in the future, which is now is in the future, learn in a very different way. So let's say in uni, I was giving a lot of question to do essay and explain thing about a concept of a few things. When I was in uni, I have no knowledge about real life. So when I'm trying to answer the question, I don't really know how to answer. I have to do a lot of research about that topic and explain about that. But now I'm talking about me in the future. I have more experience in real life. And looking back all the question that being asked in the past, now I know how to answer that question correctly. Do you get what I'm saying?
Get one,
Okay.
but like I heard some sharing about learning in the university. Like uh, we not just learn about the knowledge, but it's like the time for us to practice the skill,
Yep.
practice the skill to apply for the job. Like because when we as I remember, he said that uh, he have to retain training or the staff again, but when he interview, like he will assess their skill, the way the skill of the applicant. So I just want to ask uh, of your experience in university to like practice the practice the skill to that can help in the job, that can help the job in the future, because we like me, you also embarrassed about the knowledge.
Yep. Right. So honestly, after I graduate, I joined the workforce. All the knowledge in the industry have nothing to do with uni. The
Yeah.
only thing that I take out from uni is help me to train myself to read, write, and understand English. Well, I can tell you that. So I used to have an idea of do another engineering bachelor to help to improve my working outcome. But now at the stage where I am now, I rather learn myself because when you learn in uni, it forces you to do a lot of like useless stuff, like a lot of subject that not have nothing to do with really, they have nothing to do with your work. But let's say if you work in your current environment and you kind of like to, let's say for example, I'm working at a project coordinator, so I like to work about, I want to learn more about engineering. So because project coordinator, you have to kind of read plane and then when people talking about load bearing wall or something like that, and then you're talking about uh, new force. So instead of like do another course, you just basically buy a book off the shelf and you learn it yourself, or you do some research about it and you kind of learn some basic about it, and then you come to your workplace and then you talk to other people and you kind of learn it. And then I'm kind of learn about to do tax myself. I'm not sure. Maybe tax in Vietnamese, you don't really work much about it. I'll maybe change it myself. Let's say I'm kind of automate thing. So Automate is more about IT. So instead of like do another course in uni about IT, so I learn it myself. Like I'm using YouTube, Reddit, or Stack. Just go in there. They explain a lot of concept. I'm reading that and then I'll just practice myself. And now they have a lot of open source where I can practice myself. So I learn that way. So it's more of like I can laser focus on what I want to learn and I learn it straight from there rather than to uni. So maybe uni is just one course that's necessary for you, and the other 11 courses is fucking useless and just waste your time. So that's what my take from there.
So because you also like just you said that you just have to improve like use the English after you graduated. So it's hard to find a job. It's hard to find a job
Well,
after.
finding job is always hard. You have to have thick skin in the beginning. So I have applied for a lot of position. So you have to go in different interview. So you have to go to a lot of interview, and you have to learn how to be rejected, and then after that you have to sit there and rethink what you did good in the interview and what you did not do good in the interview, and then you change it. It's not like you go in there, so I apply for a job, you get it right away. Well, sometimes it's okay, but sometimes it's not. But most of the time, you got rejected. But you don't give up after that. You just reapply, have another interview, and then if it fails, you just sit there rethinking about it. Or maybe you talk to one of your friends. Okay, I've done it in the first interview, I got failed. Something like that, or you maybe ask some people in the workforce just to do a practice interview with you. So that's how you get a job. So normally when I apply a job, I'm kind of choosing the job that is kind of suit with my environment, but I'm kind of really entry level or maybe mid term. So I'm not applying for senior level yet. I'm just like apply for beginner. But if you work hard enough, you jump. But you have so first thing you have qualification, and then you work hard from the beginning and you pick up pretty fast. And then if you have qualification, it's gonna boost your career very fast, very quickly. So that might take. But the knowledge in uni, I don't think is applied much in the real world. Yeah, it's just qualification. You have that piece of paper that help you advance faster, quicker. But you have to break the barrier where you've just first joined the workforce. So that might take.
I mean, break the barrier. I not understand that one. Break the
Well,
barrier.
so when you apply for any job, they're gonna ask you, have you worked before? So the barrier is like people kind of tend to recruit the person who have experience compared to people who have no experience. So kind of break the peer barrier is that what I mean break the barrier. So the barrier is like you trying to break through where you have no experience, and then you start to join it first. You start to join the workforce. I have time to join. It's time's up. If you want to join again next week, so
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
time's up now. So okay, I'll maybe.
Oh.
Oh, okay. Thumbs right here. Do you want? If you want, we can have three person
Ah,
talk at the same time. That's fine. Hi Tom, how you doing?
Hello,
I
teacher.
can.
Hello, Miss Yuan.
Yep.
Sorry,
So
because you have a lesson with him now.
yep. So if I'm not sure, I'm happy to have three person talk in the same way. I'll explain the same concept. Or if yeah, I'm not sure, but it's actually now it's session, so I'm not
Yes,
sure.
yes. So sorry. I have to go now to have because uh I have a thing to do now. So sorry. I will leave the lesson and see you maybe in the
Right,
next week.
right.
Thank
Fine.
you your sharing today.
Right.
Bye
Cool.
Tâm.
See ya.
Bye bye chị.
Hi Tom.
Hello teacher.
Sorry. Can I just quickly end the recording because it run for 1 hour and I'll have a fresh record starting for you. Screen
Yeah.
record. Okay. Just 2 seconds. Sorry.